everyone. My name is Penick, and today I'm at my house instead of where I usually record these videos because everything is shut down because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and so the lighting's not so good today, and the quality of this video isn't as good. So I do apologize for that. You may hear more background noise, and my cat might interrupt the video at some point, but that's okay. He's really cute and sweet, so it'll be fine. And also today, I'm not going to be reviewing anything. That's what I've been doing most of the time, is reviewing books, and I reviewed a doll. But today I'm not actually going to be doing that. Today is more of a vlog because I'm going to be talking about something I really struggle with. I have an anxiety disorder, and it's really hard, and it sometimes makes it almost impossible for me to do anything. And I thought it would be really important to explain what it's like for me living with an anxiety disorder, because a lot of people don't have an anxiety disorder, and so they just don't understand. And so I thought it'd be helpful maybe for me to talk about it a little. I do know, like, at least one of the things that caused my anxiety disorder, but I'm not at a point yet where I'm ready to share it, especially not on YouTube. I mean, I've shared it with some friends, but I haven't shared it, but I'm not ready to share it, like, on a super public platform. So, so I'm not going to be talking about that. I'm going to be more talking about, like, my experience living with anxiety. So, like, my brain is always going at like 5 million miles an hour, and I'm always worrying about everything, and I can't stop. I try to stop because it's really exhausting, but I just can't make my brain shut up, and it sometimes makes it almost always, it's really hard for me to get to sleep even. I mean, I can't sleep. It takes me like an hour to get to sleep because I just can't get my brain to be quiet. It won't. I'm like worrying about what could happen. I can't stop thinking through like possible scenarios. Like, if this happens or this happens or this happens, how am I going to react? If this happens, what should I do? And my brain does it when I'm trying to go to sleep, when I wake up in the middle of the night or the morning, like all the time. My brain is always thinking about something, like, ooh, if this happens, what are we going to do about it? If this happens, what are we going to do about it? And I'm sometimes very exhausted by that. I just want my brain to be quiet. I want to be able to be in control of my thoughts, because these thoughts, like, I have to think about them. When I try to not think about them and think about other things, my anxiety skyrockets. I feel really tense and nervous, and it only gets better once I start thinking about that worry again, which is really annoying and kind of exhausting, and I really hate it. I just hate it. And like, sometimes it's like when I'm trying to go to bed, or if I'm having an anxiety attack, it's paralyzing. Like, I can't do anything because my brain is too busy thinking about all those things. And it's really, really annoying. And it's exhausting, and I can't stop. I'm like always worrying about what catastrophe might be about to happen. And often the catastrophe doesn't happen. And I wasted sometimes hours of my day stressing out about something that never happens. And I really hate that. I wish I could get my brain to stop, but I can't. And it's probably never going to get any better. And I have this really weird fear of psychoactive drugs. Like, of me using psychoactive drugs. If other people need to take depression medication or medicine for their anxiety or medicine for their bipolar disorder, whatever, I'm okay with that. And I encourage them to be taking that medication. But I'm afraid of me taking it. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's just the way it is. And I just can't. I can't do it. I mean, maybe I could, but I don't want to. I'm just scared of how they'll affect me, and so I don't want to even try. And I'm probably never going to get all the way better. I might get a little bit better, and I have gotten a little bit better. I've been seeing my therapist, this is March 31st, 2020. I've been seeing my therapist for 5 years. The first 9 months was every other week, and then we moved to every single week, and that's how regular our appointments have been ever since, because I'm really messed up. I have a lot of things that I need to talk about with my therapist. My anxiety is just one of them, but I do talk about my anxiety, and I think I've gotten a little bit better. I've started my YouTube channel. I have a blog. I write fan fiction. I'm in college. I'm doing a bunch of things I want to that I was too scared to. So I think I am getting better. But I'm probably never going to get all the way better. I'm always going to have fear and anxiety just messing up my life. That's just the way it is. And it is occasionally actually very helpful. In my regular everyday life, I solve a lot of problems because I'm always worrying about everything. And then I solve problems, I'm like, oh, I could try that, and that might help, and then I do, and it helps, and it's great. Or my friend complains about something, and I'm thinking about it because I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Not like they're having a problem. It's normal to have problems and have things that are just not working right and that are irritating. But it's their problem itself is a weird problem, and so I'm like, oh, what could be a solution? And then I might come up with a solution. I suggest it to them, and they're like, oh my goodness, that might work. Thank you. And sometimes I try to not tell them because I figure it's not my stinking business. But this COVID-19 pandemic, that's a real catastrophe in a way. It's absolutely a catastrophe for those who catch it, because the way it kills people is really scary. But even with it's kind of a catastrophe for the rest of us too. And everything's shutting down, and I can't afford internet at home. And so I'm thinking of ways I could what could be solutions that would let me be able to get online and continue doing my college classes and contacting my friends with the library closed. And so when I was hearing about places closing and my library closed and the YMCA closed, and I was given a membership to the Y as a gift, and for those of you who are like, you can't afford internet at home, but you can afford the YMCA, it was a gift. But anyway, and like all these places are closing, and so it's like, well, I'll ask my friends if I can go over to their house and use their internet. And they said yes. And even though Kansas is right now under a stay-at-home order, like, people are allowed to leave their homes if they're going to be helping friends. And so that's helpful for me, because that means it's like, well, this is essential because I need to pass my classes. I need to pass my college classes. And so, and if I don't pass these classes, I'll lose my financial aid, and then I won't be able to go to college, and then I won't be able to enter into the workforce like the way I want to, and it would just be a giant mess, you know? And so, but I figured all that out like within the first week of, because like this COVID-19 is spreading across the nation super fast, and because it's super contagious. And so within like the first week of I was hearing about states shutting down, I was like, okay, if Kansas does that, what am I going to do? How am I going to solve these problems? How am I going to continue getting online? How am I going to keep doing this and that? And so I solved all these problems before these places shut down, and now that they are shut down, I have solutions. And I also, and like a friend loaned me something to help me get online at home if necessary, like as an emergency. And well, now I can't go out very often, not even to my friends' houses. And so, because of other reasons, and so it's just, but still, I was able to come up with solutions before the things started closing, because my brain is always in catastrophe mode because of my anxiety. And so because of that, and so that's one of the ways my anxiety is actually helpful. I still like really struggle being super grumpy about it and hating it, and I don't want to see anything good about it. So even though my therapist tells me there's other good things that can come out of anxiety, I kind of don't listen because I'm a bad example. I just don't listen because I don't care. I just want it to go away. I have a list of what I want to talk about, because otherwise I'm going to forget stuff. Often I don't know what I'm scared of. There's not a specific thing I'm afraid of. I'm just terrified to the point I'm petrified. I can't do anything. Like, I'm that scared. And, I mean, sometimes there are causes, but the majority of the time, I can't identify what I'm afraid of, and I don't know what triggered the fear. I just know I'm scared. And so it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm terrified. I've got nothing. When I'm afraid of when my anxiety's been triggered by a certain thing, I can be like, okay, this is what I'm afraid of. And like, I can talk it out, because I'm very word oriented, and I try to fix all the things, and so it's hard for me to just be in my anxiety, because I want it to go away, so I can do stuff. But often, I'm just scared. I'm just scared for no reason. There's nothing I can do about it. And so, and with no triggers. And so that's really hard. And I feel like I'm being buried alive by my anxiety. It's suffocating. I can't move. Sometimes the fear is so strong and so powerful, I can't even think. I can't pray. Like, that's how scared I am. I just can't do anything. And I'm stuck. And, like, I can't pray. And oftentimes, I'll grab a toy and, and I'll hold the toy, often, like, up against my face, and that helps me. That helps me feel better. And then I'm able to pray, and then praying pulls me down to where I can move again, I can kind of think, and I feel at least a little bit better. That kind of paralyzing terror doesn't happen very often. At least not in such an obvious way. I'm also sometimes just scared, and I'm trying to make the anxiety go away, and I don't do anything, and then I realize it's been 4 hours, I still haven't done anything, and I'm running out of time, and that's really frustrating. I really hate that. My anxiety often causes nightmares. Like, there was a while where there's 4 months, longer, I'm not sure how long, but that's my cat sneezing. But, there was quite a while where every single time I slept, at least once a night, sometimes multiple times a night, I had a nightmare. Every single night I had a nightmare. And I just couldn't. Oh, I hated that. I was always tired because I wasn't sleeping well. Because of my stupid nightmares. And I sleep with toys. But, this is Grace. This is Rebecca. And this is Fluttershy because I'm a My Little Pony fan. But I sleep with toys. And that helps me. They reduce my nightmares. They help me get to sleep in the first place. But I'm still scared. And it still takes me so long to fall asleep. And that's just the way it is. And it feels like I'm drowning sometimes. I'm being buried alive by like a super heavy blanket that I'm trapped under and I can't get out from under. I'm just stuck. And that's a really scary feeling. Which, that's my anxiety. And then I'm scared because of how I feel, and that just makes it worse. But, it's just really hard. And there are things that help, but I'm kind of a dork. I don't want to take the time to do those things. I just want my anxiety to go away so I can get to the thing I'm needing to do or wanting to do right away. I don't want to journal. I don't want to, this is Steven. Say, hello, Steve. He's like, stop. I just want to cuddle. Don't step on the keyboard. Okay, I don't have time to hold a toy and pray. I don't have time. I mean, sometimes I have time to cuddle with Steven. But sometimes I don't. I'm like, I need to leave the house in 20 minutes or I'm going to be late. I just, I like to cuddle with Steven though. He's really sweet. His favorite thing is to snuggle. Please don't lay on the keyboard. But it's like I feel like I don't have time. I don't have time. And I'm really stubborn. My therapist told me I'm very obstinate. And I was like, thanks. That's a nice way of saying someone's stubborn. But, I struggle to make the time to do the things that actually help me because I don't want to have to do that. I just want the anxiety to go away, which doesn't really work. And so, there are things that do help when I do them. Cuddling with my cat. See? He's so cute. But cuddling with my cat, praying, journaling. I have to write down my thoughts to get them out of my head. I can also say them with my mouth, but that doesn't seem to help me as quickly. I need to actually write them down, and I'm sure in some of my other videos you've seen me wearing a hand brace. I'm not wearing it right now because I don't need it right now. I mean, I need it whenever I'm writing or using my mouse or typing on the keyboard or drawing or occasionally when I'm crocheting, which that's almost everything. I need to wear my hand brace. I don't need it when I'm doing a video, even though I move my hands a lot. But, I usually forget to take it off, and then in the middle of the video I realize I'm like, oh well, I'm not going to take it off during the video. But, today I didn't have it on yet. I didn't have it on, so I didn't have to worry about remembering to take it off. But, so I have a bad hand, and sometimes I'm in a lot of pain. Don't lay on the keyboard. And so, I'm in too much pain to journal, and that doesn't help. It's like, I need to journal, but I can't, so that's frustrating. Doing creative stuff, drawing, crocheting, sewing, making YouTube videos, writing, for fun writing. Those things help me. Talking to my therapist, helps me in the long run. Sometimes I'm still a mess when I leave, but that's normal I think that's normal with mental illnesses and seeking help. Talking to my friends, interacting with my friends, and so, I was making friends at my college, and I'm a tutor at my college, a peer tutor, and I was making friends there and interacting with people in a positive way, and that is now all taken out of my life. I see my friends maybe twice a week. I see anybody twice a week. Otherwise, I'm basically stuck here at home. And so that's kind of making my anxiety get worse again. I'm just mentioning things that help me. The other day I was having a really bad anxiety attack right before bed, and I started flipping through a magazine and reading articles, and I got mad because it took me a couple of hours before my anxiety went away. So it was 12:30 in the morning by the time I went to bed, and that made me really mad because I just want to get to bed. but I couldn't because I was too anxious. And but that helped. It may have been the just distraction until my body was done being anxious. Please don't step on the keyboard. Steven, what? Why do you want to play now? You're a goofball. What was I saying? Oh, but whatever was, that helped. So reading, but that, yeah, it's just frustrating because I just want my anxiety to just stop. It needs to just go away in my mind. And it doesn't, and that makes me feel really irritated. And it makes me not have much patience for myself or to do things that actually help me. Another thing that helps me is God. I am a Christian, and God really does help me. Sometimes he gives me this inexplicable peace. I can't explain the peace. It just happens. I just feel at peace. And, and I know that's from God. There's no other way. The peace just washes away my fear. And when he doesn't do that, I get really mad at him. I'm not gonna lie. I get mad at him. I think that's probably okay to be mad at God as long as you're being honest with him. Like the prophet Jonah, he didn't want to obey God, and so he went when God told him to go to Nineveh, and Nineveh was capital, or at least a very major city of Assyria, and the Assyrians were conquering Israel. Jonah didn't want to go tell the enemies of his country, who did really horrific things to their prisoners. Like, they tortured them to death. The Assyrians were kind of messed up. And Jonah didn't want to go tell them that God was going to give Nineveh a second chance. He was like, no. And that's why he ran the other way. But after being in the whale and then being barfed back up after he repented, Jonah did go and told the Ninevites God's message of forgiveness. And then when the Ninevites, the people of Nineveh, repented, we didn't know, and they were everybody, even the king, was genuinely sorry, and they repented and fasted and covered themselves in dirt to show God that they really were sorry, and God forgave them. Jonah was really mad. He was ticked off. He was just so mad. It says in Jonah, hold on, let me get a Bible. I didn't plan part of this video out very well. But, Jonah told God how mad he was. He was honest. Where's Jonah? But, and he turned his anger to God and was like, I knew you were full of mercy. I knew you would forgive them. And I didn't want you to forgive our enemies. I didn't want you to forgive the Assyrians. I didn't want you to forgive the Ninevites. They're evil. I just wanted you to zap them with lightning. Here. This is a 1984 copyright of of the New International Version. Jonah was mad, and he said, Jonah chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. But Jonah was greatly displeased and became angry. He prayed to the Lord, "O Lord, is this not what I said when I was still at home? That is why I was so quick to flee to Tarshish. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." He was so mad that God had forgiven the Ninevites when they had repented, but he told God about it. And so I think that's one of the lessons we can learn from Jonah, is that God wants our honesty. And so it's okay to be mad at God as long as we tell him that and be in a conversation with him. Because in the next verse, God was like, "Is it okay for you to be mad about this?" And so God and Jonah had a conversation where Jonah was honest and he wasn't being very respectful. He was like, "I knew you were a good person. That's why I didn't want to come. And now you need to just kill me. And I'm just so mad." He was just so mad, but he was so honest. And so when God doesn't take away my anxiety, I get mad. I just want him to take it away in a snap. Because sometimes he does. Sometimes I just feel peace wash over me like a wave. And it feels great. And then I can do stuff. But sometimes he doesn't do that, and it makes me mad. And I know that's probably not okay, but that's just the way it is. I'm just mad. I want him to take it away. But I try to tell him that, and I try to be open to whatever his answer is. And so, I feel him telling me he wants me to be brave, and I'm like, I don't want to be brave. I just want it to go away. Because I'm mature. Sarcasm. It's one of my superpowers. But he also reminds me of things that help me. And like I said, I often don't do them because I just want the fear to go away, and I feel like I don't have time to do that thing. I don't have time for it. I just want it to go away. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm even so terrified. Like the times I'm terrified, I can't come up with words to pray. Like in my soul, I try to reach out to God in a wordless plea for help, and then he reminds me, toy. So I can hold a toy, and that helps me feel better. Sometimes I'm in my room and I'm scared and I'm curled up in a fetal position, curled up in a little ball because I can't do anything. And then Steven will come in and cuddle with me, and he purrs. Before she died back in December, my cat Dora did. And so she would always come. If I was scared, she'd come and she'd be like, "Oh, are you okay?" And she'd cuddle with me. Sometimes my fear makes me cry, and my cats are like, "Oh, why are you crying?" Especially Dora. Dora used to do this. Steven's he's going to be 2 this year. So he's not as in tune to me as Dora was. Dora was 3 months away from turning 15 when she died. And I'd had her since she was born. So she was very in tune to me. And so if I was crying, she'd be like, "Oh no." And she'd cuddle with me and purr. And she didn't ask for me to pet her. She just gave me love. Knowing that I would give her love and pet her at a different time when I was feeling better. So my cats, sometimes I'm having an anxiety attack, like at church or whatever, and one of my best friends will be like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, No, I'm not. Everything is terrible." and I'm able to talk about it. So, God definitely helps me. And, so there are things that help. I'm not bereft of stuff to help me. I'm just an obstinate nincompoop and don't do it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Especially if you watched this all the way through to the end. It's over 35 minutes long. You're amazing. If you made it this far, good job. I often lose my attention after 10 minutes. So if you got all the way through this, especially if you got all the way through it in one sitting, you did a really good job. I'm impressed. Very good. Very good. You get a fox to say hello. He doesn't have a name. He's just the fox. My foxy. He's adorable. And yes, I crocheted him and I crocheted Fluttershy. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. Bye. Bye.